What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Or if you are new here, welcome. Hellfire Lives. We are super excited because Stranger Things have happened, literally. Because
kind of a sad day.
yeah, it is a sad day because we have had the final season of Stranger Things. It was split into volumes, but because of my job, because of the holidays, I have only been able to talk about the whole season as a whole tonight, but we'll still break it down into what we thought of each volume and then talk about the finale and then talk about the show as a whole, like a retrospective on what we think of the show at the very end. But I'm proud to be joined by Andrew Long. We have been doing this seasons 1 through 4, leading up to season 5. We did season 5 predictions, and now we're here. How are you feeling, man?
I am feeling very good, very bittersweet because despite like no matter how anybody feels about any seasons of the show, I still love this show, so I'm gonna come back to it again in the future. So it's a little bit sad, of course, obviously, when a show that you've had an attachment to comes to an end.
Yeah. No, it always is emotional when a show comes to an end, and in a world where there is some really great series finales like The Sopranos, like Breaking Bad, like Better Call Saul. Then you have your shit series finales like Dexter, Killing Eve, Game of Thrones, the How I Met Your Mother.
A finale that I'll be talking about when we get to the finale of Stranger Things. I'll be making an analogy to that later on.
But in a world where we get all those kind of finales, I thought overall this finale was solid, and season 5 also as a whole was solid. I have my issues, most definitely, and we are going to break them down and talk about them here. But I still thought as a whole, season 5 was solid. What did you think of season 5 as a whole?
I really enjoyed season 5 as a whole. It's not even my least favorite season of Stranger Things. That honor still belongs to 2, but the 4th season and the 3rd season are still my 2 favorite seasons for some reason. So this isn't the second half of the seasons, in my opinion, but again, that's still really good, really good. It's kind of like bringing it to film, like for example, when you have a director like a Martin Scorsese, for example, where you say, come on, even the worst movie directed by him is a pretty damn good movie. Like this is just one of those shows that I enjoy so much that even the worst season of it, I'm still like, okay, this was not completely awful. It had its bad moments, but again, it still had plenty of good, solid moments as well.
No, it definitely had some great character moments in there between characters, like some emotional arcs, some really.
And what I love is they did fix an issue with season 4.
Which one's that?
They actually had the characters together. It didn't feel like oh, half the gang's here, the other half's in Russia, the other half's in California. It didn't feel like that. It felt like everybody was together, and it gave us. And this season gave me a combination that I didn't know I wanted, like Will and Will and Robin. I never would have thought them being together, but now that I've seen it, I'm like, oh my god, this was so obvious. How did I not see it? And their chemistry was so good that I'm like, oh my god, I I would have loved more seasons just to see more character combinations.
Yeah, I would have
Like,
too. I mean, I still think the show overall has a bit too many characters, and we'll get into talking about what happened this season that I was kind of disappointed in. The fact that, this is a spoiler review, so I will say that the fact that nobody even died this season, I thought was, I mean, one person did, but of course it's the whole, oh, let's kill off a new character, yada, 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 kind of thing again, rather than actually doing anything with any of the original characters. And there's just so many that it's that they still, I found like they did find a good way to balance out as many plot points as they had to, but some characters get forgotten in the rough because of it, which is pretty unfortunate.
Especially in the finale, like in the finale, we saw in the very beginning we saw Erica and Mr. Clark in the building.
Yeah,
and then we don't see him again for like the whole time in the Upside Down. It's like Erica and Mr. Clark aren't there.
And then they don't show back up until the graduation sequence, which is like, oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So,
which I will get back to that because Dustin's speech was so good.
Oh yeah, we'll definitely break that down.
And
but let's start with
I hope you saw the callback to season 4.
No, I did not.
When
are you talking about like because of what Eddie said about what he was going to do? Yeah. Yes. I remember that. Yeah, that was a nice little callback to season 4. So I love that. And speaking of Dustin, let's kind of talk about, break it down volume by volume. Volume 1 was the first 4 episodes of the show, and we get kind of a depressed Dustin who is trying to reel from the death of his best friend.
Yes,
Eddie Munson, and
I was mixed on that on that part. Like part of me felt like plot wise, I'm like makes complete sense.
Yeah.
Plot wise makes complete sense. All of this, but again, the other part of me is like, this is Dustin. Like,
yeah.
I'm like, I miss the happy-go-lucky nature of it, and I hate, and one of my least favorite cliches is constant bickering, and it felt like between Dustin and Steve.
Yeah,
there was a lot of that.
So that really irritated me as well because I just feel like that's not Steve. Like that's, to me, that's just you want to talk about a change in character. I mean, Dustin changed in the show because of that, but also Steve did. I just feel like that's not Steve. Steve wouldn't be the type of person to just write off every single thing Dustin says and to just write off every single thing that, all that other people are saying. And he's just like,
I feel mixed on that too because he said, I tried to be there for you. I've tried to be there for you. Yeah. And you kept on not doing that. I felt like if they wanted to make Steve's thing work, they should have had a flashback to those times.
Yeah.
Where he's doing that and him being ignored by Dustin just to understand the everybody's had that, this was the straw that broke the camel's back moment, and if we did not see the setup with that, so I feel that we needed to see the setup with that. We needed to see Dustin ignoring Steve.
Yeah, I feel like that would have been pretty nice, and also like while it wasn't necessary for her to be in the season, I would have liked at least a reference to Susie this season, just at least bring up a quick thing of, oh, they broke up because Dustin was very depressed and couldn't handle, like the loss of his friend, and it
Yes.
affected the relationship or something, you know?
Yes,
Like
yes.
that would have been nice as
And
well. But we didn't
yes,
get that.
and if we're talking about a bad state of character moment, wait until we get into volume 2.
Oh yeah. That's volume 2. That was pretty rough too. But talking about character moments, we get Hopper and Elle and Joyce, and they're and Hopper was like a little bit at first of a mixed bag. So I felt like he was being kind of like dickish to Elle in the first episode or whatever. I was like, what are you? Why are you like turning up your jerkiness to 11? And then it's like he ends up getting better as the volume goes along, and I loved their kind of their relationship this season, and I really love the like back and forth that they would have, because at times he would be the asshole, at other times 11 would, like when he offered her his beef jerky, like it was only supposed to be him going on this mission in the Upside Down, and then she tags along, so he only had food for himself, and then she's all like upset and all that about it. And I'm like, girl, just be grateful that he's even giving you stuff. Like, so there's like, it was a back and forth between the two of them.
Mhm.
And I thought that was kind of interesting.
There is one character that I felt like got even better this season that I loved.
What? Yeah.
I know this is a very mixed bag because some people did not like this character this season.
Ted Wheeler.
No, Robin.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah. Robin is like a character that's like a fine wine. It gets better like by season, and she just becomes better. And I'm like, can there be a spin-off show just about you? Because I want to see a show about you. Like,
oh yeah. Well, I was going to say that towards the end, because the finale sets up some interesting stuff that I would love to see, like spin-offs of and such, that I would love to, dive into, because there's going to be spin-offs with how popular this is. Like there's already an animated one coming, but there's going to be more like live action spin-offs for these characters because of just
Steve Harrington, sex ed teacher.
A sports show that's like a sitcom style of him as a little league baseball coach trying to teach like a little league baseball.
Oh my God! The Netflix version of Ted Lasso.
The Netflix version of Ted Lasso, but with Steve Harrington. That would be amazing. Stuff like that, yeah.
And just have like random characters appear. Like Dustin appear for an episode.
He's just like at a baseball game visiting. Their whole like whenever they talk about their 1 month, like they're gonna come and see each other every month. You see Jonathan and Nancy and Robin at like a baseball game or something. It's just like that'd be funny to see those guys pop up every now and then.
So yeah, but part one to me, I really loved part one. I really enjoyed the setup of part one.
What did you think of? Because we didn't really get to talk about it. But what did you think of the whole huge reveal that Will has powers? Something that we did predict and such.
And we predicted it, so I kind of was like, oh, here we go. Will has powers. Okay, just as me and others other than you and I have predicted. So I felt that was one of the predictions, and I'm like 99.99% sure this is gonna happen.
Yeah, that was one of the predictions I was very confident on. We got a lot of predictions wrong. We got a few predictions right. That was one of the predictions that we were right on. Also, one prediction we were right on as well is I remember texting you right after Volume 1 happened about the powers thing, but also that I was right in predicting that Callie was going to come back from season 2, that infamous episode that nobody liked, but I knew that they would bring her back because I was like, there's no way that you're going to have the final season and just never ever acknowledge that episode. I just felt like that would just make the whole series feel pointless whenever someone binges it.
Honestly, I wish they did it because it would have been hilarious to just be like, this episode never gets referenced again.
Hey, with how many characters never got referenced again this season, I mean, I wouldn't put it past the Duffer because it seems like they write stuff and they forget certain stuff happens in their show, and they're like, "Oh shit, we forgot about this." Like for example, season 4 sets up like that. I understand season 5 you have to have this like Will and Vecna dynamic, but in season 4 Vecna's like obsessed with taking down Eleven, and he is obsessed. He's all like, he literally tortures Nancy and he's like, tell Eleven this and yada yada yada. Then it's like he doesn't even acknowledge Eleven's existence in season 5 until like literally the last moments together. It's like oh, okay, I guess I just forgot about everything that happened with Vecna in season 4 and like his obsession with Eleven. But all right, it's just, kind of strange there. And then also, I thought how they handled Vecna was interesting, but I'm curious now, what is it, in their opinion, was the goriest death this season? Because I remember, or goriest deaths of the whole show this season, because I remember an interview with the Duffer Brothers happened, and they said, we are going to have the goriest death scene we have ever done in season 5. And I was like, was it just something that was supposed to be super quick in the Hawkins massacre or something? In the military base massacre? I guess it was supposed to be one of those. I guess as a random, like, I guess whenever Vecna decides to stick his fingers through the guy's eyes and mouth and all that stuff and kills him that way real quick, I guess maybe that's what they were talking about. But I don't know. Watching that sequence, there were some gory kills, but I felt like season 4 was even more gory with the whole like lifting them up and breaking their arms and then popping their eyes out of their sockets. Like, it's just like that's to me a lot more brutal than anything we got this season. But I thought overall what they did with him and what they did there was interesting in volume 1. What did you think of the whole and I liked what they do with Callie in the show too, by the way. I did like her character this time. I thought they made her character better than they did in season 2.
I like that they didn't make her a traitor like everybody thought they were gonna do.
Yeah, I do too. I like that. And what did you think of like that whole sequence of Hopper having the failsafe that, like, in case things go wrong, he was going to wear an explosive vest and blow himself up with Vecna?
I did not know what to think.
Yeah, I was just like, for a second there, I was almost thinking, because of all the theories on who's going to die, yada yada yada. I was thinking to myself, I was like, oh god, is it going to happen this soon? Are they going to kill off like a character this soon? And I thought, like, at first, like, Hopper was gonna try to fight Vecna and then blow himself up, and it was gonna fail or something. But
I thought they were to make people go like, oh my god, there's 2 more parts. Oh my god, like, maybe literally nobody is safe,
Yeah, and that's the thing with this season that was an issue I had, was that the stakes of this season don't really feel as strong as they should, because season 4, at least, you definitely feel the stakes, the weighing of the situation between not only Eddie's death, but also just the rest of the people in Hawkins that are being killed off one by one. In this season, the fact that like, oh, Will has powers now, and the fact that you get Callie who has powers, and you get Eleven who has powers. It's like, okay, there are three superpowered individuals versus one superpowered individual. It's like this doesn't, the stakes don't feel really there anymore in this season, and I just and by them not killing off a single character, I just felt like it was just like that made the stakes feel even less strong.
Now can we go to volume 2 because if we have to, I want to address this right away head on. I want to address one thing.
Yeah.
And I think you know what I'm going to want to address right now.
What's that?
The most air quote controversial scene in Stranger Things.
Yeah, the like him coming out.
Yes.
Yeah. So
yes. I didn't have issue with the scene.
Oh yeah.
I found it. I do wish Hopper said something like, hey, like we're here for you, but the end of the world is coming, kind of a thing,
So here's my issue with the scene. The scene on paper is great. I think these coming out moments are really beautiful. When you get Robin coming out to Steve, I think that's really beautiful. Here's the difference, though. With Steve, that is only one person. And that is okay because of the times that these characters are living in. The Duffers, I think, are trying to appeal to a modern fan base without realizing that these characters all live in the 80s. And one thing about the 80s is the 80s were extremely homophobic. The 80s really didn't like gay people. You were gay in the 80s, then you were weird. That was the rule of the 80s. And I just felt like I understand maybe some of his core friends maybe like supporting him, but like the fact that everyone in the room is all like, "Oh, we're here for you," and yada yada.
I feel like I'm only okay with it because over the years everybody has kind of become like a family, like Steve and Eddie, with like Steve and Robin. They've all become connected, and if anything, Steve and Robin are the ones that should be the least understanding because they're the most connected. But here's the thing: Robin is already queer, so that's already she's gonna accept him. And we all know that Steve is best friends with Robin, so we all know that Steve is going to accept it.
True.
So, and I feel like part of the reason is everybody kind of knew that he was gay.
Yeah.
Everybody kind of knew that, but there was so many people that I've been seeing this on TikTok saying this has been set up for like years and years through subtext.
What I would have found funny is to have like a character who's snarky, like a Lucas or a Dustin or even like someone like a Steve or someone like that say like, yeah, thank you, Captain Obvious, or something like that. Make at least a snarky remark like that,
and
or something along those lines. But
and what my opinion would have been funny.
What?
Like if everybody knew what he meant by he was my Tammy, meaning he thought that he had feelings for Mike, but turns out he actually didn't, kind of a thing. Because we all know for Tammy,
Yeah,
and the whole Tammy story. So it would have been funny if Mike after that sentimental moment was like, "What made you get over me?" You know.
Yeah, something along those lines, like,
I
or at least have something that's really like, bro, like have him like almost be a little bit thrown off, like, oh, bro, like I'm always gonna love you. You're always gonna be my best friend. All right, but I really don't feel about you that same way, or something like that, or something along those lines, just to kind of,
yes,
you know.
yes, and
And
also
also the worst timing possible too for it. It's like I understand a coming out scene, but they should have saved that, I felt, for like the finale or something, whenever everything is all done and they
I
finally save the world. Because then it's
I
just like you are literally like they say, oh, Hopper's about to depart in like 5 minutes. It's like, okay, and then you're spending like a good time here just
the
sharing this.
the only free reason I understand that is his biggest fear is
Yeah.
Vecna basically letting everybody know his secret
Oh yeah.
and everybody turning on him. So he said, I need to tell everybody on my terms before this monster uses my fears against me. I don't want this monster to have my fears against me. So I
Yeah.
understood. I did understand that element.
And I guess if he got worried that maybe his friends were going to die too, that like if Vecna would have gotten a hold of one of them and killed him, that maybe it's like this is the last time I would be able to say this to them, before they're gone. You know, I guess.
Yes, and I do love one thing they do in volume 2 that somebody brought up online
What?
when mm, when when Max gets out of the hospital.
Oh yeah.
All of her motor skills probably aren't the best at that time.
Uh huh.
They actually have her in a wheelchair.
Yeah, that's
And I'm
true.
like, okay, this is somewhat logical. And that scene where they're all giving each other a hug. She's like, I'm in a wheelchair, so you're gonna need to come here. That
Yeah,
part was actually cute and fun.
that part uh was actually pretty fun, not gonna lie. So here's my question. How did Max start walking again? 'Cause if I remember correctly, now correct me if I'm wrong, that sequence where, she sees where Vicky disappears and Vicky's gonna go grab her something or whatever, while she's staying with, which by the way, it's funny that they leave the two gingers behind, but that the one ginger is grabbing the other ginger or something, and then you see her get up out of the wheelchair and she's like, holy shit, like she's able to walk out, but like then it's shown that that is a vision from Vecna,
Yes.
because so it's just like,
Honestly, I was scared in that scene. I thought something else was going to happen.
what?
I thought we were gonna either see Vicky is dead,
Oh yeah.
or B, that Vicky is connecting with the Mind Flayer or something, and
Yeah.
Vicky is connected to all the evilness or something. Because at the end of the day, Vicky is really a somewhat new character. She had a small role in season 4 and a role in season 5. And if they were going to make her the villain in season 5, how they did her in season 4 would have been a good way to set her up.
Yeah.
To,
Yeah, it would have been.
to get her in there, get the audience to like her, get her to know him, then hit him over the head in season 5. In season 5 with sweet moments, and then boom, she's evil. So I was expecting that, which would have been a major twist.
Yeah. No, I would have been. I was expecting something like that. But my question though is, was there like a revelation later that maybe it's just like I didn't pay attention close enough of like Max being able to walk later? Because it's like, how did she just start?
I don't remember that.
Yeah, I was
But
about to say, like, how did she just start walking again? Like, it's just like that was a vision. That wasn't it. That was put there. That wasn't actually happening. So I'm just like, I don't know how she started walking again. I literally just thought about that.
but I know that if we are
Which,
going
by the way,
all over the
speaking
place,
of Max, what did you think of Max's story of her being kind of stuck in this in this dimension, and then
I
also
liked it.
Holly and her kind of protecting Holly and all that kind of stuff.
I liked it. I
Yeah,
liked it more than the other option, where she's just in a coma, in a coma, in a coma.
like Ted.
It felt like I'm like, okay, they're giving her something to do. Okay.
Yeah,
And like I actually enjoyed that.
yeah,
That
no, I did
that
too.
that it gave honestly that those elements with them together gave off very fantasy, like classic movie vibes
Yeah,
of
yeah,
like movies like The Princess Bride or one of the Robin Hood movies, whenever they're on the adventure together, in these
Y-
magnificent lands, make me think of those classic adventure style movies.
yeah, yeah. I agree. Which is funny because they actually have a reference to Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade in the finale, but it does. It
Yes,
does.
yes, a fun little nod, I am going to say that,
Uh,
and
that was a fun one. I will say, too, I loved her relationship with Holly Wheeler, and what did you think overall of Holly Wheeler's story? Because that's a big connective tissue in here. Like, what did you think of that storyline there and the plot line with
I
all the kids and all that stuff?
I liked it.
Yeah.
I liked it, and funny enough, I ended up liking Derek a lot more than I thought I would.
He at first annoyed the shit out of me. I will say that. When he first shows up, I was like, okay, kill this character. Kill him. And then as the show went along, I was okay with him as it went as it
Yes, yes,
yeah.
yes, 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 yes. I like all of those moments, especially when he's insulting Mr. Whatsit. Like
Yeah.
I'm like, you've got to have balls of steel to see the villain and make a your mama joke to the villain as he's got his hand on your neck, or like while he's chasing you. I'm like, wow, respect. Like,
Yeah. No,
and
I agree.
and and I know I do want to ask you one thing that I'm so happy they did this in episode 5.
What?
It is both one of my least favorite Dustin and Steve interaction episodes and my favorite.
Oh, is that the episode where they have the fight?
I love the I hate I hate it when they're fighting together. But
Yeah.
later on, either in that episode or the next, where if we see Dustin do the "I'm scared to lose you, I can't lose you again" thing,
Yeah, that was
it
beautiful.
makes
And that
it makes me like go, oh shit, maybe he's separating from Steve because he's scared that he's gonna lose Steve again. Now here comes my real question for you.
yeah.
When Steve was saying all that stuff to Dustin,
Yeah.
here are my thoughts.
Uh-huh.
It was kind of true what Steve said,
It was. No,
He
like he was
shouldn't have
right.
said it in the way that he said it or the time that he said it.
Yeah, I agree.
But I'm like, it was true.
It was. He wasn't wrong. It's just it was just insensitive timing and kind of
Yes,
you know
yes,
an insensitive way to say it when someone is
and
grieving.
and even and like and what I did not like that, but one thing I did like though was that Nancy and Jonathan did break up, because honestly
Mm-hmm.
they're just two characters that are not meant for each other, I feel.
But what I also love though is that she didn't just go back to Steve, and I love
Yes.
that
Yeah.
she didn't just, go and date Steve and marry Steve
Yeah.
or whatever. I love that.
Yes. That
Yeah.
would have been in my nightmare ending. That
Yeah.
I do want to talk about one thing quickly.
What?
Everybody's saying how this is the worst finale ever. Is like one of the worst finales ever.
Well,
Everybody,
we'll get to the finale here very soon. But right
yes,
now let's finish talking about volumes 1 and 2. First off, the volume 2 sequence of yeah, I thought that scene was one of the most heartfelt and emotional scenes of them talk about all their mistakes that they've made because they thought they were going to die and everything. And then he's like, do you accept my unproposal? And she's just like, I accept your unproposal. And it was like, really,
yes.
I thought that was really a beautiful way to kind of do that. And I'm also curious to know your thoughts on the fact that in this show now, they're finally addressing the bigger issue to now some of the other members of either families or friends or something like that. Like now we get Karen Wheeler with her badass "Get away from my daughter, you bitch!" And then she's like fighting the Demogorgon with a glass bottle, and you got Ted trying to save the day with a golf club and everything. Now it's like they believe, and then you get Mr. Clark, who gets to see it up close, a Demogorgon and everything, and now he believes the truth. And then Vicky, who's all like, "You're high, Robin. You're on drugs," and then literally like 3 minutes later sees a Demogorgon pop out of nowhere.
Dustin's mom?
I know. Dustin's mom is the only person now who will never get to know the truth of what happened. It's like
yeah.
Oh. That's like, speaking of moms, another character that I think the Duffer Brothers forgot?
Who?
Max's mom. We were introduced to her in season 4, or I think even prior. No, we were introduced to her prior to that. But she exists. Dustin's mom does, or not Dustin's mom, Max's mom. Are you telling me Max's mom wouldn't have ever come to see her daughter in the hospital when she heard that her daughter was in a coma? It's just they forgot she existed. It was like, oh, okay, well, her mom doesn't exist anymore, guys. That's fine. Her mom won't be in the hospital with her daughter. It's like, what? It's like, okay, that felt a little weird. Also, I do find it kind of interesting that we've been introduced to all these parents. We've been introduced to Max's parents. We've been introduced to Dustin's mom. We've been introduced to Mike's parents and Will's, obviously, and all that stuff. We have never gotten to know Steve's parents.
What about Lucas's?
Lucas's, no, we have gotten to see them once. They were doing dinner or something in season 2 or something like that.
And they still don't know about anything.
Yeah, they don't know about anything either. But And Lucas's parents never got to know the truth about any of this stuff. So,
nobody apologized to Joyce at all.
Yeah,
because season 1, she
yeah,
was the one saying this shit.
they were.
And
She
it was like,
she was being ridiculed by all of her friends and such.
so no. Oh my God, we're so sorry. You were right. Like all those years, you know.
Imagine. Oh man, what a missed opportunity now. Because imagine a sequence where, since they're still friends, Joyce goes to go see Nancy Wheeler in the hospital or something like that, and they're having like a heart-to-heart talk, and then Nancy's like, or Nancy, Karen Wheeler, but then Karen Wheeler's all like talking to her while in the hospital, and she's just like apologizing, saying, I'm sorry for not believing you, I'm sorry for treating you like a terrible friend or something like that. And and they're having, and
Yes.
she's just like, oh no, it was hard to explain and all that. Anyways, like it's and all, and it would have been like a really great heart-to-heart moment.
Yes.
That would have been really beautiful to do. I mean, I was okay because she still added narrative purpose with the whole Mr. What's-It thing. I was okay with them keeping the mom alive, even though it was ridiculous. I think Karen still should have died. But the fact that the fact that Ted got to live, I was like, are you kidding me? He's like the most, if you're gonna be an expendable character, the dad is the most expendable character out of all of them. Even more expendable than Mr. Clark. He is that expendable. And I'm like, and you couldn't even kill him off. I was like, come on.
They could have let him die on the couch.
Yeah.
Which would have been hilarious.
Like,
he died sitting on the couch.
And then maybe he just hears like he's watching something, or he just hears like Karen scream. She's like, shit, or something. And he's like, language, gosh, or something like that. And then he gets like something goes and attacks him. Or, I don't know. They could have, but the fact that he finally stood up as a father, was going in there trying to attack, and then it went and slashed him.
I would have liked to have seen more of that this season.
Yeah.
If they're going to keep him alive,
yeah,
at least have him be like this is the season where we showed Ted Wheeler stepping up.
I would have liked that too. But then there's like, oh, guess what? Your dad's in a coma. It's like, it's funny because she goes to go see her mom because her mom is all killed and all that stuff, and not one mention of where's dad, all this stuff. And she's like holding her mom and everything like that, just to check on her father. Later on, their father's like, they're like, your mom is in very critical condition, but she's okay. Oh, also your dad's in a coma. And she's like, oh, okay. Kind of thing. It's like no one really goes to.
She even knows how useless Ted Wheeler is.
Yeah, and it's just like they don't even bring him up again until the finale when he is at the graduation or whatever. And yes. I'm like, you could have killed him off realistically, and then just like raise the stakes a little bit that way. But
I still do have one major question for you.
What?
How did you feel about Mr. What's-It?
I liked it. I did like it.
I liked it only. I liked it for one reason.
What?
It wasn't just a faceless, I'm the monster,
Yeah.
It was an actual human form thing.
Yeah.
So I like that they did something a little bit different here. So I'm like, okay, but this does not look like, even though Vecna is still there, we don't see him a lot. We see more of Mr. What's-It. So I'm like, okay, I like this.
What my biggest issue though with some of the Vecna stuff is that I'm okay with them teasing elements from the play, but they full on acknowledge plot points that actually happened from the play, which was Stranger Things: The First Shadow. And the reason why that's an issue for me, I understand The First Shadow is canon. it is canon to the Stranger Things world, so like it all is connected. But the issue is that play has been so underseen by people. It literally has only played in 2 cities so far, like New York and somewhere else. And it's literally been so underseen by people right now that like people are going to feel lost because they're going to be like, wait, Joyce and him had a connection? What? They like knew each other? What? Yada yada. And people are going to be like, what's going on here? Like there's going to be stuff like that that's not going to make sense for people, because how's your general audience who just loves Stranger Things as the show supposed to know what happens in the play? You know, that's
yes.
So that was kind of an issue I had, and apparently that the whole sequence in the cave where Vecna's in the cave and Henry's in the cave and he sees that that man in there who shoots him in the hand. Apparently, that is Martin Brenner's associate, who apparently worked with him, and Dr. Brenner's associate, and they had this whole.
I would love to watch a bootleg of that show now.
Yeah, I would love to see that, but that's what I'm saying is it's just like if they actually did a recorded version of the play and then put it onto YouTube for everyone to be able to watch, then it's like then it would be like okay, or put it just a recorded version of the play on Netflix, almost like a Hamilton deal. Then it would be like, well, okay, then this is more acceptable because now a majority of people have had the chance to at least watch it and see.
Yes, and it could have been like required watching, just like just like seasons 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah, and
but
Stranger Things fans would have watched it. So that was like kind of an issue I had. I mean, I thought it was interesting setup stuff with the cave and all that kind of stuff, but like, and that Joyce and Henry like knew each other and all this kind of stuff. But then it's like at the end of the day, it's just sort of like us in the show, we don't know that. So it's
the only issue I have is we have now another case of like the misunderstood villain.
Yeah. I mean they were hinting at a possible redemption arc for Henry. And I'm glad the finale shows that he was irredeemable, which I thought was really great.
I do like that, but I do want to go back to the day where the villain, in some things at least, is still the villain.
Yeah.
Like in Wicked, it made sense. You know, I'm like okay, I like this. Okay. And it was based on the musical, which came out in 2002, before a lot of this stuff was happening. So something like that, I'm like, okay, I'm okay with this. But this felt like I'm like, really? Are you gonna make him redeemable? Like,
yeah, that's the thing that I was kind of worried about, and I'm glad they didn't end up doing that.
I am happy that at the end they didn't do that. But are you ready to go into the finale?
Yes, but before I do that, I want to acknowledge this because of the box office. The EDM said, "Did either of you hit up the finale in theaters?" First off, I did. I got to see it on before I went to work because I work overnight. So I work from like 5:30 till 6 a.m. They had a 2:00 show that I was able to make since it was a 2-hour finale. They had a 2:00 show that I was able to go to. So I got to see it on the big screen on January 1st. And I thought it was just such a cool experience to see it with the audience, see it on the largest screen possible, the epic battle sequences and all that stuff. I hope they do this with more shows. I think
seeing this made me happy, but it also made me frustrated as well a little bit.
That's where I got this shirt, the Hellfire Club shirt. But
Oh, I love it. You know why it made me a little bit frustrated?
what?
I'm like 25 million. If they expanded it and they put it like out like in like all theaters, this could have easily have been a 50, 60 million dollar opening. Like
no
event.
I agree, because there was showings that straight up sold out for me at my theater and such, and I was like, oh my god, like it was
yes,
there
therefore theaters near me that we're showing it like every like 15 minutes.
Yeah, because they
or
realized
like every 30 minutes, and it was like if they weren't sold out, it's like first row or like a random one seat kind of a thing. Like,
also if they would have maybe put it in a theater for only 1 week, so you get rid of it after a week. But if maybe they would have put it in a theater for 1 week, then it definitely would have made its money, and all that. So I just think that it's really, I feel like it's dumb that 25 million is really great, as that's what K-pop Demon Hunters did, or it's like a couple days that was in theaters the first time, but it would have done even better. I agree, if they would have expanded the theater release even more.
Even hell, if they kept it at that, but they said like every Regal in the United States or every theater, like 3,000 theaters are going to be showing this kind of a thing.
Yeah,
because I know I would have, if my theater did, I would have tried to have found a way to go.
And also large format screens or premium format screens would have been showing it. Like, imagine if they would have done IMAX showings for Stranger Things 5, or if they would have been doing 40X screenings for Stranger Things 5 finale, or something along.
I don't know. Don't know if they could have done that.
Yeah.
Because with Disney, because of what Disney with Avatar.
Yeah, I mean, I understand they probably
I could have maybe have seen if they went to Disney to Disney and said, hey, is it okay for these 2 days if we have one screening of Stranger Things or something?
Yeah, like one IMAX showing.
Even if they just had one a day or something like that.
That would, I think that, I think that would have still been beneficial, because even when like Mission Impossible and Lilo and Stitch, they both released the same weekend, both in 40X, and they still were able to give at least Mission Impossible 140X showtime, while Lilo and Stitch had multiple. So it was like they were able to balance it out like that. So, I'm sure they could have maybe found a way to balance it out and make it work. But either way, just it being in theaters, I kind of agree with him. I hope a lot more shows do this, because we never got to rent out a movie theater. But me and my friends, for the Game of Thrones finale, we rented out one of those stage theaters, but the stage theater had a screen on it. So it was like a big screen behind them, behind the stage, and then you got to like watch it in that kind of.
You did that for the Game of Thrones finale?
Yeah, we did the Game of Thrones finale, because
I am so sorry for that finale. I'm so sorry, because I've heard how bad that finale was, and you wasted all that money.
Yeah, we wasted all that money, but at least we got to have a good time with some friends, even if the show was. Even if the finale was disappointing.
Okay. So if we talk about the finale quickly?
Yeah, we can, and then we'll take any of his other questions afterwards.
Everybody is saying this is like one of the worst finales, and I'm like, absolutely not. I've seen shitty finales. How I Met Your Mother had the whole season 8 about Barney and Robin's wedding. and then a time jump, and they get divorced. And then if we have the mother dying of cancer and Ted ending up with Aunt Robin, even though throughout the series it is shown they do not belong together, I'm like, this would have been on par with this would have been if Nancy ended up with Steve.
Yeah.
And picture if that fight with Vecna. Picture if we did not see that. Elves went inside the monster. Everybody's outside shooting at the creature. They get inside. We just see Elle standing there and Vecna's dead body.
Oh yeah.
Look,
Yeah.
we did not see the fight. It all happened off screen.
Yeah.
But yeah. But
no, there are way worse finales.
I really did like this finale. The one thing that bothered me that I feel like they did too much was the oh no, is that person dead? Oh no, they're not.
Yeah. Yeah.
A few times it worked, but I felt like they did it so many times or moments where I'm like, this character should be dead right now. No, they're not.
Yeah.
Like when Nancy was shooting at the monster.
Oh yeah. And then like the fact that it breaks through the rock wall and she's still running.
Yes.
And the rock wall is like just collapsing right behind her. I'm like, a rock didn't hit her on the head. Nothing like that happened. It's like
this is the moment that she should have died.
Yeah, I'm just like that would have been a really emotional kind of badass way for her to go, as if she would have been like tried to go taking out that, which by the way, someone referenced something that was interesting, that Lucas again used his slingshot on the mind flare, but if you noticed, this time he didn't use just water balloons. He filled it with gasoline. So whenever they were like trying to shoot it with fire, it was like kind of.
So I do feel that this was very good. I feel like they could have cut out some parts of Volume 2 and or made it longer.
Yeah.
And episodes
of Volume 2. The episodes of Volume 2 were really short. I was surprised.
Volume 2 should the finale should have ended, should have started with them on that weird Dune like alien planet. That should have been where the final shot of Volume 2 on that weird planet, kind of like a thing, and then focus more time on that.
Yeah, and then that way they're not trying to cram all that in alongside trying to cram in all the final moments with the characters, because by doing that, it makes the whole Vecna fight scene feel very rushed. The Vecna actual fight sequence between Eleven and Vecna and like Will and all of them, it's like it lasts like 5 minutes or something like that. It's very quick.
The wrap up was longer.
Yeah, the wrap up was even longer than the Vecna stuff, and
which I'm not complaining about the wrap up. I like the wrap up.
Yeah, the wrap up was still good. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying that like I wish there could have been more time dedicated to the Vecna fight and to all that kind of stuff, because and I love that Joyce did get the final blow on him, but I find it funny that it's like, oh, Vecna can't really die by just normal weapons, and then she kills him with an axe, which is kind of interesting. But but I love also that this show, which is audience friendly, with family friendly, I should say.
Funny enough, the last season was TVMA.
The last season, I heard that they made either a hard TV-14 or like TVMA, because not only violence but also because of the fact that this season had an F-bomb. And I thought Joyce saying, you see the whole Bob dying, you see the sequence where she's trying to resuscitate Will, all that stuff, all in her mind. And then once you know that her and Henry have a history together, that they went to school together, that they went to and did all this stuff like that together, that like she's able to look him in the eyes and say, you fucked with the wrong family. And then like takes her axe and just like brutally kills him. I thought that, and slices off his head. I thought that was so badass of Joyce. Like I love her as a character, and I thought that was excellent. But
and I know that we've talked about this character a lot. This character did not do much. I'm just gonna say this. I was even a fan of Murray this season.
Oh my god, I was definitely not a fan of Murray this season. I thought Murray was, I thought his jokes, most of his jokes did not land this season. I like, and the audience I watched it with in the theater, they laughed at Steve Henderson jokes. They laughed at Dustin, Steve. I said Steve Henderson, basically Steve Henderson, right? Because they're basically brothers. But Dustin Henderson, they laughed at like Steve Harrington jokes. They laughed at all the. Not a single person, even in my theater, and it was pretty packed. Not a single person even chuckled at Murray lines, which told you that like people just do not care about his jokes. And I'm like, you could have easily killed him off in volume 1 or volume 2. And I think that people would have been okay with that for the most part,
Yeah.
And it's just like,
I feel like more needed to happen in part 2. That's why I do think that it was cut down.
Yeah. I think
I have a feeling that they were going to kill off Murray or something, but Netflix said, "Oh no, we can't do that. We're scared. We'll lose viewers or something."
I don't know, or they were going to kill off a major character or do some other big kind of epic reveal or something. I don't know, but the fact that, because the episodes initially on IMDb, they were listed way longer. They were like an hour 40 something, hour 50 something per episode is what volume 2 looked like.
It was like an hour 39, an hour and 45, and like an hour 58 or something.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden, right before the episodes come out, they're all cut down to like an hour 6, an hour 8, and like an hour and 11 or something like that. And it was just like, oh shit. Then did they like majorly cut back the episodes? That would be interesting to.
They should, and they could have made them longer, because again, part 1 was longer because there were 4 episodes.
There were, and part 2 was only 3 episodes. And I feel like if you're doing a final season, then do like an extended season. Like for example, Ozark. Ozark is a show on Netflix that was popular that I think always had up to 8 to 10 episodes a season. I forget what it would have per season, but its final season, which was season 4, they made sure to do a 15 episode season, because they were like, we want to extend it out since it's the final season and make it, the best we can. And I thought overall it was a good final season because of that. But like with this, the fact that it has less episodes than like season 2 does and then season 4 does, it's just sort of like, it's like, really? Like, why are we only doing
it would have been so easy to do it. Just drop some of the episodes on Halloween.
Yeah, drop some. Yeah, you drop what they could have done is dropped the first 2 episodes or something. They could have done like the first 2 on Halloween. Then they could have done like 2 or 3 around Thanksgiving time. Like, yeah, you do like 3 around Thanksgiving time, and then you do like their last 5 or something like that. Around, or you do like the next, you would do like the next 3 episodes or something around Christmas time. Then you do like the last 2 episodes or something, or do the next 4 episodes around Christmas. Then do the very last episode.
Or if they really wanted to make the chatter last long, make it a several week event in a row.
Yeah.
And make it like, hey, every Friday, Friday night, we're going to be dropping 2 episodes.
Yeah, and that could have been an interesting way for Netflix to experiment with weekly releases, because they don't really do the whole week-to-week release format. But that could have been an interesting way for them to experiment with it.
Hell, Disney Plus just did that with the Taylor Swift TV show. No, with her Eras concert, documentary.
That's like a fucking documentary series, and it was able to do that. So I find that just kind of odd that, I understand the format. The conversation did last a little while longer, but the conversation would have lasted longer if they would have done like 2 episodes or 3 episodes per week or something,
I still think 2 episodes per week.
Yeah.
Hell, they could have started on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, they could have started Thanksgiving, done 2 episodes per week. Probably by that point you would have made it up until now, which was, the New Year's time. That would have been like really.
It was like good. 6 weeks, 5 or 6 weeks, and that would have been 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, or 12 episodes.
Yeah. So I personally think the season would have not felt as rushed if they would have done that. Because my biggest issue with the finale, and I agree, in a world where Dexter, who was a very well-known serial killer, became a lumberjack in the finale episode. And I kid you not, that was actually the ending. And then there was and all these other really shitty finales to shows. In a world that, like I've said, this is a good finale. But the rushing of just the Vecna stuff, while the monster was super cool and what they did there was really cool, the rushing of that bothered me. But also the fact that they have so many characters in this show that they forget certain characters in this episode to wrap up their stories. We talked about Murray, for example. Murray doesn't show back up after that final battle sequence or whatever. He doesn't show back up during the epilogue. And to me, I'm like, where the fuck did Murray go? You could have killed him in the final. What that means, they could have killed Murray in the final battle. They could have. And by them not doing it, it makes it feel very odd. Because
I thought they were. You know why?
Why?
When I saw him on the roof,
on
the helicopter,
and then he had all those bombs from his vest. I thought when he had that bomb or whatever, I thought he was about to jump with it and then was gonna blow himself up with it or whatever, or something along those lines, or I don't know, do something along those lines to take it out. But that was to me,
and they didn't, and they even in the wrap-up section, they didn't say what Murray was doing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Murray, didn't show back up. He wasn't there at the graduation. He wasn't there at any of the other stuff. He just disappeared.
But I feel like what would have been really funny is to see him now as a teacher teaching teaching like theories of like all these conspiracies.
Well, because he's a conspiracy theorist too, what would have been perfect is have him make this like article that is like sent around all these different areas of Hawkins and such that is telling the truth of what actually happened, and he's like exposing Dr. K, and he's exposing the military, he's exposing
Or have
all these
him be in
people,
charge of the radio station
something like that.
now. Have
Yeah,
Robin
yeah,
Robin be like, yeah, I'm giving you the job, and have him be like a Joe Rogan type guy on the radio, you know, like, hey, welcome to Conspiracies with Murray or something, you know.
yes. It's like Conspiracies with Murray could
And
have been a funny thing you
how
see in
it
his
would
wife's show.
have been perfect now because in today's culture, conspiracy theories are a lot more like widely known, and a lot more people are interested in that stuff than they used to be, you know.
It would have been,
So,
yeah, it
so
would have been way more relevant and such. And then not only did they forget about Murray's existence for the epilogue, but they forgot that Vicky existed. When Vicky and Robin literally they set up this whole plot point of after we're done saving the world and doing all this stuff, we're gonna go to Enzo's together. We're gonna have this.
you know,
We're gonna have all.
if you know what the worst part is,
What?
we see it in Enzo's.
I know, but it's Hopper and Joyce, and it's like, what happened to the Enzo's date?
It's like
Robin and
when
Vicky.
they're at Enzo's, I'm like, yay, we're gonna see Robin and oh no, Joyce, then Hopper.
Which don't get me wrong, that was a great sequence, and we got to see Hopper propose to Joyce, and I thought that was really beautiful, and and now like now he's found his happiness, now she's found her happiness, and I thought that was really great for those characters. But where's Robin's happiness? Where's her love of her life? It's like they tried to treat Will like with this LGBT story that was honestly, as someone in the community myself, I thought it was just kind of not super well done this season. But then on top of that, if you're trying to implement another one with Robin, then that just feels kind of insensitive that you just not even reference, oh, we broke up, or oh, something like that happened. I get it, it's an 18-month time jump, but like don't just expect your fans, don't be like, oh, they'll just figure it out. No, like at least reference it. Say like have Robin say something about like, I really wish that Vicky could be here to see this. Like I can't, this view all of us together again, all this stuff. I really wish she could be here. I wish that we would have worked out and all this stuff, or I wish she didn't move away, or I wish something like that. Like they could have easily made a reference like that, but they didn't. And
hell, she was there for Will's coming out scene.
Yeah. So I was like, so she played an important factor, and I just think that was really dumb. And then they also forgot about Dr. K, right? They literally have a whole like big sequence where Eleven has this interpreted death sequence. So it's sort of like it's left up to you to decide whether she died or whether it was an illusion made by Callie, because Callie is an illusionist. And I'm on the illusion side of things. I just think all the facts add up to the fact that it was an illusion. I think that just...
I do. I think so too. And I can say this right now. I do like the ending when everybody's playing D&D.
I do like that, but we'll get to that in just a second. Because I do want to talk about that more in depth. But the that scene though, Dr. K is there, she's watching it happen, and then they just forget that she exists. And they don't say anything about what happened with the military. They don't say anything about what happened with the government, anything like that was involved, all that. It's just, nope, we're just going to focus on our core characters now. It's like, okay. I mean, I would have liked at least a little bit of a wrap up there. But talking about the 11 stuff, and well, actually, before I get to the 11 stuff, another character they forgot about. At least tell us what happened to him. You don't even have to have him show up this season. At least tell us what happened to him. Where the fuck is Dr. Owens? The last we saw, he was handcuffed by Dr. Brenner, and then the colonel was walking away from him to look for the girl. He was like, "Oh no, you bitch, you son of a bitch," or whatever. And it's like, okay, was he arrested by the military? Was he left there just to starve and die? Was he? What happened to him? Like, we're just never gonna know. It's like, okay, that's a loose end that they didn't fully wrap up. So I don't know. There's just some of those loose ends with some of those side characters that this is what I mean. Like, if they would have killed off characters early on, then we wouldn't. Then they probably would have been able to say, "Oh yeah, we still have this character we can finish up the plot line for. Oh yeah, we still have this character we can finish the plot line for." But because there's so many damn characters on this show, and they feel the need to try to make all their stories end,
Yes.
it's just I think they just got lost in the shuffle, and
it's
unfortunate. But talking about the 11 stuff, I do want to talk about this because I want to break down the theory that people are saying, because people are saying that 11 is still alive because of the D&D sequence, which it does tie into where he is talking about the mage, and you see him say that, like, a theory about the fact that she could have cast, that Callie could have cast an illusion to make to kind of trick the military into thinking she died, and all the other people into thinking she died. And in a way, it's like she would be dead because she could never ever contact Mike and anyone else ever again like that, because she knows if she does, the military will find her again, and it'll just be an ongoing cycle. But I think, her escaping through the tunnels and doing all that stuff, I think that all that happened for sure, and there are clues to hint as to yep, that is what happened. Because everyone's like, "Oh, the scene was super open-ended though, and what happened to her?" I actually don't think it is, and here's why. Because in Callie's death scene, which we don't even know if she's dead, because she's an illusionist, a master illusionist, but in Callie's death sequence, she tells her, she's like, "This is where my story ends, but your story doesn't have to end here." She literally says those exact words. And then the way the camera does it, right, is instead of focusing in on a actual death sequence of, like, seeing her die, what we see is we get the camera panning away from them, and we follow Hopper trying to grab stuff and then running back in there, and then we see just she's like dead or whatever, and 11 crying or whatever. What if they had a whole conversation right before Hopper ran in that room again? What if they had a whole conversation of, "This is what's going to happen. I'm gonna use an illusion. I'm gonna do all this stuff to make them think that you died," and all this stuff. And then she tells her all the plan, and they break it down. And then,
but again, if that is true, why didn't she communicate the plan with Mike and have Mike run away with her?
Because she wants Mike to live a happy life in Hawkins. Mike can still have a life. That's the thing, is 11 can't have a life in Hawkins because the military is always just going to try to hunt her down and try to find her. She needs to have another peaceful life somewhere else where she can find her happiness. And
I would have liked to have seen a scene like further ahead,
for
Mike is happy with somebody else,
Yeah, maybe somebody else, but so.
And then
it's a good coping mechanism for him too.
Like walk by some Eggos or something, and like
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
stare at them for half a second, like he still remembers, even though he's happy, he still does remember 11.
Yeah, something along those lines. I could have seen something like that, but I think Mike being able to move on was the healing that he needed, because a lot of the finale was about healing from all the trauma that you experienced, and I think that was
Mm-hmm.
his healing moment, was the heart to heart that he had with Hopper, which is great. Because Hopper also lost a daughter, which two daughters technically, which is like,
Yeah.
god damn, that sucks, man.
Yes.
But he lost two daughters, and so it's just like he so
Talk
don't have to do
about
not have
emotion.
so do not have any kids with Joyce. You hear me, Hopper? Do not have any kids with Joyce. All right.
About an emotional epilogue episode. You've got Hopper making speeches. You have
Yeah.
Elle. You have Hopper again. You have Dustin's beautiful graduation speech.
His graduation speech, that was just so fun. And
And how
I
he did exactly what Eddie said that he was gonna do.
yeah, it was so good. And the Hellfire Live shirt, like,
And I was gonna
that,
flog on stage, flip off the principal or something.
yeah, I really I really love that. And another reason that people have, that not even Mike mentioned in his little theory that he made about 11, that people I saw bring up in videos, and I said to myself, oh my god, that's a good point. There's no way 11 could have been using her powers to make the upside down move that like that. And you know why?
Why?
Because if you look even at the scene before we even know about Cal sitting there trying to use the illusion and all that stuff in her
Mm-hmm.
nose, even before all that, and it just looks like she's using her powers to die and all that stuff, there's one little thing that's even in that sequence that I didn't catch until I saw this video. Her nose isn't bleeding. Every single time she uses her powers, her nose is bleeding. Even in season 5, her nose is bleeding every single time she uses her powers. And so that is one key element, even in that scene, that I was like, oh my god, her nose isn't bleeding. Like, oh, that's a big thing. So I think that is a sign that for sure it is an illusion. Because
And
um, so.
can we talk? If we talk about the last few shots of the show with everybody putting away their binders for the last
Yeah,
time. Then we see
yeah.
Holly and her group come down.
It's like the passing of the torch kind of situation, and the reason. So to me, even more than 11 and her sequence, even more than all the other
Mm-hmm.
all the other sequences that happen in the show, to me, the hardest I cried was him reminiscing over those times, and he's like looking at the you know uh D&D game that Holly and everyone is playing, and then he's like and he has tears in his eyes as they're after they put away their binders, and then walks through the door and shuts it. And the reason why that is was super emotional to me, and I started just bawling my eyes out in the theater, is not necessarily because of the scene itself, but because I have friends like that are very close to me in my life, that are all going their separate ways. I have a friend of mine who is going to be moving away because he's getting a teaching degree somewhere. I have a friend of mine in the Air Force who just today I had to say goodbye to him again because he came back home for the holidays, and I had to say goodbye to him again and hug him, and all of these friends who I had in my life at such a young age, who are um, who have been just a major part of my development. We're all going our separate ways, and we're all growing up and growing apart.
Mhm.
And we'll always have each other, but we're growing apart. And and we'll always have these memories of what we shared together. And that's just knowing that, seeing that happen, just reminiscing of those old memories and such just really brought back stuff, especially knowing it's D&D, and me and those exact same friends played D&D together a lot. So that's just was very emotional, and then putting away their binders was emotional, and I loved what they showed with the rest of the characters and where they all end up at. Like,
Yeah.
Will finds love,
Yes.
Luke
And
and Max have their theater date, which is great.
and if you know what part makes me sad the most,
What?
it was the scene where it was when Jonathan, Nancy, Robin, and Steve were on the roof.
Oh yeah.
And they're all like, once a month, let's meet up at blah blah blah. If you know why that scene really hits me?
Why?
In my head, as soon as they say that, I'm like, within 2 months or 3 months,
Yeah.
that's not gonna happen.
Yeah, you know that they're gonna get too busy. He's gonna be too busy working on his film. She's gonna be probably married
That
with kids at some point. And
that
it's
yes, they're
like,
yes, they're all gonna see each other again 100%.
oh yeah, they will. But
But it's not going to be the once a month, the friendship connection. And keep in mind, this is not like now with Facebook and Messenger and texting and video calls. No,
yeah.
this is like on the phone. So, and you have to actually see each other face to face. So it made it a lot harder. And
Yeah.
this takes place in the 80s. So it's not even like they're able to communicate with each other on the phone or something.
Yeah, I mean, well, you still had home telephone systems, but they were like, attached to a wall, and then you had to
Yes,
call
yeah.
out
Yeah.
when it was there,
Meaning
yeah.
cellular phones and video calls. Those
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
not a thing. So it's not even like a hey, we can hang out on Messenger kind of a thing. No.
Yeah, because like even those friends who are all growing apart and such, like I can still message them on Messenger and I can still talk to them on there, every now and then and call them and such. But like now it's like, it's just that's what's gonna happen all the time. It's so unfortunate because like one of my other close friends of mine, we were very close, and then once he got married, we only saw each other a couple times, and then once he had kids, I never got to see him again until he unfortunately got divorced, and then we were able to hang out again because he wasn't with somebody. But it's like, but in that moment, the moment that you like are married and then you have kids, your life just becomes too busy, and then you can never.
And the worst part is, if you do not know when those moments are gonna happen.
Yeah.
Like there's no hey, heads up, this person that you're talking right now, you're never gonna you're gonna get to see this person for a couple of years, kind of thing. It's not like that. I've had friends like that too, like whether it be in like high school or something.
Yeah.
That I still remember back to those days, and I'm like, I wish I knew then that, hey, this is my last time I'm going to be talking to this person.
Well, that's a good question, Tristan, because we just talked about it earlier. We wouldn't know, because you know why we wouldn't know? Because the finale decided to forget that Vicky existed, and they were like, and they didn't even wrap her up in the epilogue or anything. They didn't mention her, not even a brief, this is what happened with us, or I wish Vicky could have been here to see this, but we had to break up or whatever, or I wish this, not like, not even a brief mention. It's like she just never even appeared again. She wasn't there at the graduation. She wasn't there for any. It was just like I was expecting to see her sitting beside Robin at the graduation. I was like, where'd she go? She wasn't there.
Yes.
So
and
that was really weird.
And one thing I did love is when we saw Dustin in college, we saw him still hanging out with Steve.
Yeah, I thought that was great. He was still was hanging out with Steve. So Steve, that does show that Steve at least is still always going to have a friend to hang out with, and Dustin's always going to have a friend to hang out with, even if, you know, we're never gonna, even if Steve rarely gets to see Jonathan, Nancy, and all of them, you know.
And that's why I thought their relationship was my favorite in Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Their relationship was like, it was such an important part of the show, in my opinion.
Eddie and Dustin was great, but it's still not the same as Steve and Dustin.
I still love Eddie. I wish Eddie was alive because it could have been like a Three Amigos kind of like a situation.
I'm glad that theory didn't happen, of that Eddie Munson was going to come back as like this D&D character who apparently is like almost like a vampire, undead vampire who works under Vecna. That's like
what I wanted was there to be 3 dream sequences in this show.
Yeah.
I wanted a dream sequence where Nancy got to talk to Barb one last time.
That would have been good.
And Joyce got to talk to Bob one last time. And then in the finale, Dustin gets to talk to Eddie one last time.
Yeah, that would have
been really good. And the whole Eddie scene could have been Eddie could have been like, what's happened to you, man? You know, ever since I'm gone.
Maybe the dream sequence of him talking with Eddie or something like that is what would have brought him out of his funk or something.
Ever since I'm gone, you've been doing this. Been doing this and being like, instead of being sad, be you. You continue my legacy. I need you to continue my legacy.
Or you know what would have been like the perfect emotional cherry on top is if they would have is after Dustin did what, you know, he said that he would do to honor Eddie. He like turns over to the crowd, and there's like and he's like imagining Eddie sitting there with like everyone else or something like that.
Yes.
And it's like and he's like smiling right there. Eddie's like smiling, clapping, cheering. It's like, oh,
yes, yes, that would have been perfect. So all in all, I do feel that this was I did enjoy this finale. It had enough emotional elements in it. Funny enough, I felt like the emotional elements worked more than the action.
I agree. I think the action, it was great spectacle, especially on the big screen. But I think the character moments have always been stronger on this show. That the character moments were stronger with this season as well overall than the action of this season.
Yeah.
And
to me, I guess I'm okay with that because this is the final goodbye.
I do want to address, if Callie is dead though, I do find it interesting that the only character that they decided to kill off this season was a person of color. Which, you know, I mentioned that to you in the pre-show, but
yes,
I thought that was like, that's a little
so
odd, but you know,
here comes
But that was like my only other kind of issue. Everything else that I other than the fact that the finale felt rushed, and other than the fact that there was a few characters that needed extra development that never got to have that extra development towards the end. Other than that,
As a
and
fin-
the fake out deaths, I thought it was pretty solid.
So I have only one more question for you, I guess.
Yeah.
As a show, how do you feel about it as a show?
I think as a show, I wouldn't put this up there in like greatest shows of all time, but I do think that this show will always hold a special place in my heart because I watched it when it was airing back when I was in high school in 2016, and it was a show that was really still sticking around strong during the golden age of television. It was one of those shows that was on, and it was and just to see it leave is a very emotional experience for me. So the show will always hold a special place in my heart, even though it's a show that definitely has its flaws, especially with like season 4, season 5, season 3 at times, stuff like that, season 2 at times, like all these other different stuff. Like it definitely has its issues. So I wouldn't say it's a greatest of all time conversation, but it's still a very good show. What do you think?
For me, it's one of my personal favorites. I'll say it's one of the most I feel like gonna be like pop culture shows of all time.
Yeah, maybe
I feel like this will be like a Friends in my opinion.
Yeah.
That even after it's done airing, people are still gonna watch it, and it's still going to be a big deal, and it's still gonna have its fans that watch it.
Oh
I
yeah,
know.
and there's gonna be several spin-off shows, and there's gonna be the Stranger Things world will continue in some capacity.
I know that I am going to go back to the show, especially certain seasons. I'll maybe skip season 2 from time to time, but I'll definitely go back to seasons. To me, the hype was season 3. That was my favorite season, I feel.
How would you rank season 5 amongst all the seasons?
I don't know. I'd probably say third or fourth.
Yeah.
I'd say third or fourth, with 1 and 4, funny enough, being highest. I mean,
Yeah,
3
no.
and 4 being the highest.
I agree. I think
And 2 being, I feel, the worst.
For me, 3 or 4 is definitely the highest, but for me, 2 is the highest because I think other than that Callie episode, I think everything about 2 was just like outside of that was brilliant. And then number 1, season 1 would be my second favorite. Then it would probably go season 3, then season 5, then season 4, maybe, or maybe season 4 then season 5. I don't know, but it would be it. I'd have to think about in between where I'd put 4 and 5.
So,
But I do think that this is one of the weaker seasons, but that's not necessarily saying it's a bad season. I do think this is one of the weaker seasons though of the show.
yes. I do get that. Yeah, that I am excited to do more free watches of this show after I've seen season 5, after season 5 is digested and everything.
Yeah.
And then I can say, oh my god, I put season 5 like, oh my god, this is the worst season, or this even better than 4. Like for me, I feel like 3 will always be like my personal and true season, I feel.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think that one's gonna be more like the Andrew type of season because it's um got more of like the humor centric kind of stuff in there and all that.
And
But
I love the whole Russian plot line. I love Steven that season.
of season 3, season 4's Russian plotline is like
I loved Steven that season of season 3.
yeah,
Robin is introduced, the mall,
yeah,
the Russians, so many great elements in that season that I will always have that season. That's a very special spot in my heart.
yeah, yeah. I totally understand that. For me, season 1 will always hold a special place in my heart, and then season 2 will always hold a special place in my heart because of kind of the party that I had that was associated with season 2. So
Yes.
I totally understand that. So before we also wrap up, we can talk about any kind of contention here. He says, "Is there an episode from volume 1 or 2 that should be their Emmy submission for writing / directing, or will they default to the finale? Even Breaking Bad lost both categories for its finale." I I personally think that because yeah, Ozymandias is what they should have submitted for Breaking Bad season 5 because that episode of Breaking Bad is the only episode I think I've seen on IMDb that actually is rated 10 out of 10 on IMDb from
I
audience. So it's
I
like
think they're gonna
yeah,
submit episode 4 of
I think so.
episode 4
Yeah,
because that's the highest like rated. That's like
that is.
the one
Yeah.
everybody loves the most.
I think they're gonna submit 2. They're gonna submit that and the finale. So I think you're gonna get kind of like a
So
mix. Maybe both episodes in, maybe one for writing, one for directing. Let's see, but um, but yeah, I think they're definitely going to submit both episodes, and I think you're going to definitely see some Emmy love for the final season. Maybe even it wins. You know, Game of Thrones won for its final season because it was Game of Thrones and it was the last season. So, you know, maybe that'll happen with.
and if Game of Thrones can do it, Stranger Things can.
Yeah. So I think
That
maybe
had a much better end. I haven't even seen the ending of Game of Thrones.
yeah, it was pretty rough. Yeah, EDM says he took it off his 25 after Game of Thrones aired, but if I wouldn't put this in a top 25 of all time shows, or maybe even I have to think top 50. But if I made a top 100 shows of all time, then maybe Stranger Things would make like a top 100 shows of all time list for me. I think it's definitely going to still hold a special place in my heart, and the fact that it's gone is
I
sad.
would put this on my personal favorite shows.
Yeah, I get
Shows like Friends, How I Met Your Mother, Only Murders in the Building,
yeah,
Saturday Night Live, Stranger Things.
yeah. I totally get that. But yeah, guys, that is the season 5 breakdown for Stranger Things. What did you guys think of season 5? Is there anything that we're missing in terms of what you think we should have talked about more, or that we missed talking about, like these writers, how they missed certain stuff this season? What was your favorite part of season 5? What was your least favorite part of season 5? Did y'all even like the season or not? Let us know. Would love to hear you guys' thoughts in the comments below. And let us know also if you got to see it in a theater or if you watched it on your television. Would be I definitely will read all your comments, guys. So thank you all for tuning in to this stream. Do you have any final thoughts you want to say?
And keep on watching because we've got some great stuff coming.
Oh, yes. We have our most anticipated movies of 2026 happening tomorrow. It's usually on January 1st, but because of work, I had to do that on January the 3rd now. Yeah, so that'll be happening
Yep.
tomorrow. Then on Sunday, Chris Diaz and I will be coming back up here on the channel. We will be doing our top 10 TV shows of 2025. So you guys can tune in for that.
And also, we've got a lot of our throughout January. We'll probably have our have a lot of lists, 2025 lists.
Oh yeah, we got our best movies of 2025 list coming. We got the underseen or hidden gems of 2025. Also, we have a list coming in January of the surprises of 2025 because there's a lot of movies that looked like they were going to suck, and then they wound it up being surprising. So we're going to be doing that as like our, and then we're also going to be doing our worst of the year. So we're going to be doing all of our different movie lists that we have for 2025 throughout the month of January. We're also going to be doing with Austin. I always do this. We do like a horror roundtable discussion where we talk about the best and worst in horror for that year. So we're just gonna do a whole roundtable discussion there. And then of course, him and I are also gonna be doing our drinking game this month, which is Texas Chainsaw 3D. So that should be a fun one. And so yeah, we got a lot of videos planned. Primate is coming out this weekend.
I'm seeing that this weekend. I'm seeing that next. I actually think that's next weekend.
Next weekend. Yeah, it's next weekend. And I'll be working next weekend, but I'm going to try to catch it in the afternoon, possibly do a review for you guys.
If you need somebody, I'm available for that one.
Yeah, so that should be a fun time. But yeah, a lot of fun stuff coming up on the channel, guys. So be sure to like this video, subscribe, and share this channel. Get the word out there, guys. And we are also going to be bringing back Award Roundtable soon. We're going to be talking about the Oscar shortlists. We're going to be doing a SAG predictions. We're going to be talking about the Critics' Choice Awards when those happen. We're going to be doing a bunch of different stuff leading up to the Oscars as well. So,
and any more obviously surprises that we decide to do for the channel.
Oh yeah, for sure. And some other stuff that since it's the new year, we're going to discuss other new shows, new stuff happening. So that should all be a really, really good time, guys. So we will all see you in the next one, guys. And until then, Hellfire lives
Forever.